Welcome back to Feldy, map created by Farmer Yip for Farming Simulator 11. Our last game had to be terminated a little bit early as we were talking about a PDA path, so I'm going to set this guy up to continue cultivating. And actually, let me check in here, turn off, and he's good to go. There he goes. We have our combine here. I believe I want to take down some support so we can haul off his product. You'll notice the grass clippings kind of around the edge of the map. I almost wonder if I need to bring in a baler to clean some of those up. Either that or the cultivator is going to get at it. It stems from the outer round of the windrower, which clipped as much grass, it appears, as it did OSR. Already harvested this field over here. I've tried to do some of that off cam. You'll see to the left we have a beautiful crop of corn to come, and I'm actually looking forward to getting into the corn so that we can get some biofuel produced. Actually, we already have a half tank of OSR or canola. Alright, let's back this bad boy up and start taking it on. This particular field, we haven't harvested before. It was just a bare field, you may recall. And we set up our windrower, and it dutifully went round and round and cut the whole field. You may recall in a previous episode, I edited the ability of the combine to harvest grass. It was taking it in and it was giving us more canola as it took it in. So now you'll look, actually, oh, look at that. Yeah, there are certain areas where it just doesn't want to pick up the windrow for some reason. And it still bothers me a little bit as you look down, you just don't see the windrower kind of coming up, or the windrow rather, coming up onto the belt. Actually, you see your I did raise it. Sometimes it requires coming in at a different angle. I didn't think I raised it up that quick though. Maybe it'll get it here. Yeah, still skipping a little bit. We'll squeak by our windrower here, kind of perched on a rock. And some of this gets a little squirrely to harvest. Yeah, skipping over some more there. I don't know. I think it's a shape of the ground that it just doesn't want to take some of it in. But I gotta say, we're gonna have plenty of, oop, there we go, we're all ready. We get our loading auger out. I'll head over to our tractor. Let's just head on down around this way. You know, this is one area where we don't have grass kind of around the edges. Not sure why. Farmer Yip chose to not sprinkle it around this field, except for when we come up to the edge over here. Yeah, this is kind of a turn on the lights. Kind of bumpy coming through here, but that's all right. Now we're gonna get one whale of a crop. There we go. We'll continue on. Yeah, we're probably gonna have over half of a tank load by the time we get to the other end again. Assuming it doesn't skip over everything. Turn on the lights. Yeah, these hills are so huge, they end up obscuring a lot of the sunlight. You know what? I've never been to Scotland. Maybe it's out in real life. I suppose if you have a tall enough hill, mountain, or whatever, it does or can obscure the sun, at least for part of the day. Yeah, so this harvest, it's kind of fun getting into some of these other fields that we didn't harvest last time. Although as we learn the quirks of them, I'm already thinking of some updates I'd like to make in the editor. Yeah, see, like this right here. What on earth is wrong? It just won't pick that up, including right where I'm sitting here. I just don't get that. Is it losing? You know, it's almost like it isn't fully touching the ground. Is that kind of what's going on here? I wonder if that's what it is. And there's maybe just certain angles that the machine is at where it just isn't going to pick it up. So maybe rather than the map editor, you know, I hadn't noticed that before, just how close to the ground it is. Maybe rather than the map editor, I should be looking at editing the combine itself. Oh, good grief, I can't drive a worth a boot. This is all my fault. Or at least I think it is. But maybe I need to change the rotation at that attacher joint so that it lowers the header just a fuzz more and gets closer to the ground. And maybe that would start picking up all these windrows. Alright, as I suspected, as we got to this other end, we do have nearly a full load. Oh, this is bringing us back lots of memories of being on the farm and doing this in grass seed. Let me just hold on here. Let me turn this around. See if I can drive backwards. You know, that could be part of it too, as to why I'm not seeing the windrow kind of right up on the header, is it simply isn't close enough to the ground. You know, I know I've commented on this before, the later versions of Farming Sim seem to have more animation or movement of material, if you will, on the header itself than this older version does, apparently. So some of it, I think, is the limitations of the game, and definitely limitations of my ability to mod. There's probably a way to do it. Good. Well, I'll get that on the next pass. Oh, already full. Yeah, and see, this is gonna fill up our trailer, you know, which will come up here, we'll grab. But I'm gonna have to take this down to dump it now. Down in the biofuel place. And it's gonna cost me dearly in the fuel. Looking straight ahead, I can kind of see, yeah, well, you're in a distance. Oh, look at that. Clear up on top, we can see kind of where the new timber yard is. Oh, so much for having a whole bunch of tree cover. You know, that's a significant limitation of the style of trees that it's using on here, where the trees are treated as a foliage, just like any other crop. I suppose, you know, something I haven't tried is to bump up the clip distance of the foliage trees, like these just to the left of the tractor here. I'll sneak up from here because the crop is harvested. But I kind of think when I've done that before, it's crashed the game. And I mean, there I think I'm running into limitations of this older version of the game, and limitations of my computer too, to be sure. You know, where it just isn't able to run something with a significant clip distance, especially when it's foliage. just taking a piece of fuel. Maybe one of these I should go sell. You know, I notice I'm in the hole. I think I have a debt still. Let me check it here as soon as I dump. Just pop into them. Yeah, I'm 60 in debt. So I'm wondering if I should sell some of this OSR, because if there's anything we currently have plenty of... Oh, here I skipped right over it. Yeah, I got 500,000 liters of canola. I'm going to come over here and refill with fuel while I'm in the vicinity. Thank you very much. You know, in the last episode, I talked about making a PDA map, and maybe we'll see it when we get up here. I noted that one of the techniques I used was totally flattening the map, and I was curious how it would make placement of the vehicle on the map when we're driving. You know that green arrow that's down over here? I was curious how that would change if I flattened it, and I think it actually improved it. Strange as that is to say. It didn't improve some of the placement of the objects, but that's kind of another story. Yeah, you can't really see the field I'm talking about out here. So the next time I raise OSR, if I do it, I'm going to do it differently. This is the stuff you figure out as you go along, and I'm just dumb enough to try to do it, maybe for the sheer challenge of it. Yeah, you know, there's kind of a lip right here. It's a little bit steep. And when I say trying to figure it out, I'm talking about autopilot, and you know, it's really nice to have the windrower go around the field like this. That's pretty handy, because in the days of the game that this was made, you couldn't hire a mower. So the ability to hire the windrower is handy for cutting this. Yeah, this is funkier than all get out. Grandpappy would say it's rougher than a cob. I don't know how rough a cob was. But I think in the future, what I'll maybe try to do is cut it using coarse blade, so that the combine has a trail to go down, and I don't have to babysit the thing. Like right now, I have to do all the driving of the combine and offloading it both. And you know, I suppose with coarse play, you could set it up to automatically offload the combine. But the trouble is, I don't think there's a way to take it down to dump in the biofuel facility. I don't know that there's an ability to have it back up kind of into the processor, if you will. So since I got to do that part anyway, you know, I just as well take care of all the driving myself, or so I figured. But that's all right, eh? What do you think of the PDA? Do you think it's an improvement? I maybe should write in the field numbers like the map author had. We are going to have biofuel coming out our ears. Although this one here, I think I'm going to take it and sell it. Oh, I kind of got to figure out... Let me see. Can I see my... Oh, good. My tractor is faithfully still going. Meaning this one down here. Still cultivating. I think I could just barely turn around on that slope. But it's pretty handy that it does. Oh, I was going to check and see what the prices were. Maybe let me try to get around this corner first. There, I managed to pick some of that up. Some of this you just got to come at a different angle. Yeah, it's terribly bumpy. Yeah, I still wasn't able to get all of it. There, I picked up some. Not that I'm hurting, for goodness sakes. You know, when you start out with a map like this, I mean, this is a significant improvement that they made in later versions, where you are forced to buy the property. See, here we in essence own every single field, so we can plant wherever we want and reap whatever harvest we sow anywhere, and there's no cost of land that is factored in. There, I think we picked up some of that. See, you just got to take it at a different angle, especially on this sharp edge. You can almost kind of see it there. I don't know that I picked up hardly anything. Yeah, I'm going to skip some here again. But something I'm a little confused with here, and I almost think it's because there's something wrong in the map, something wrong with my editor. Well, not in the map. I think it's in the editor itself and ultimately in the game. I think everybody has seen the issues that I've had in the indexing. Like even in this combine, when I installed autopilot, I had to use different indices in lining up all the parts, which was very counterintuitive and frankly very annoying. Because, I mean, it's like your eyes are lying to you as you set that up. But I'm wondering if it's a broader problem. I know I mentioned in the last episode that there is supposed to be a train running on this bridge up here. And I've never seen it run. And I'm wondering if it's because the indexing is off and somehow the parts aren't identified by the script, you know, that it needs in order to run it. Just like, you know, I've had to identify different indices on some of these combines and equipment. It's very frustrating to try to figure out, you know, where it needs to be in order to run. And what I'm noticing is, you know, I went to try to update the cattle area on the map, and I couldn't do it in the editor. When I tried to see the specific area where the cattle roam, it was this huge white area that took up the entire map. It's like, I know that isn't where the cattle are going to roam. You know, I'll be curious once I do get cattle to kind of see, you know, just where they end up roaming. Because now I'm wondering if that whole element is going to be messed up. So I just wonder if it's a bigger issue. You know, it's like the parts I'm using is somehow broken. And I've wondered if it's because I have Pro Farm installed. You know, I don't know if that messes anything up. I do know it messes up your input bindings, but I don't know if it messes up other things. You know, like in the map itself, you know, with the very layers. Because where I'm also seeing this is in map fertilization layers. You know, I fertilized every field on here, and here we'll see it. Look at this. See how one area over there looks like it's fertilized and the other area isn't? But that shouldn't be. Let me go over here. I'm going to take this to market and sell it. And for some reason, it has the appearance of part of it's fertilized, part of it isn't. I wasn't paying a close enough attention to the combine, when it was harvesting that particular section to see if it truly lacked fertilization. But I suspect it did. But I'm wondering if, like I say, something in the map is broken, or something in the map editor is broken. Because I actually, it has to be the game itself. I don't know if there was an error upon install, or maybe it's my graphics card inability to process something. That could be it too. But I noticed when I open the default map, oh yeah, see all the hedge in here? It's trimmed too. I trimmed virtually everything. But when I open the default map in the editor, it also has the same problems. To where the cattle area took up the whole map. It just didn't make sense. Oh, shoot. Oh, I just assumed I could bring it over here. That was kind of silly. I should have looked in here. Mill. I got to go to the mill. I just came over here to show you the trimmed edge. That's why I came over here. So those of you that are kind enough to watch this, any of you that happen to still be playing a game this old, have you noticed a similar defect? If you mod it and you open it in the editor, I maybe should get out a game and just show it, to where you're not able to adjust the cattle area, or where some of the layers in the map, like I just showed kind of up top in one of the fields, look a little wonky. Yeah, wish I knew what was causing that, but I don't. There's our static cows. And finally, after using up a ton of fuel just to get here, there we go. At least we'll make a little bit of money. All right, look at that. Making a lot of money, actually. Woo, look at that. All right. We're going to go into here. Oh, I guess I got to stop. Repay. Start cutting our loan down. See how our PDA map is doing. That's pretty good, I gotta say, isn't it? I think it's lining up pretty good. We'll head kind of cross country here. There's just no crop. Yeah, I'm afraid I kind of need to go get some fuel, I think. I gotta say, that's pretty dead on. Oh, shoot. I think our tractor is done. Not done. And he isn't able to turn around. It's kind of a limitation of the old AI. Let me get out. Oh. Guess I can't easily tab over. Yeah, it just doesn't look like this. always turns off field detection. Tell you what, I'm gonna just take care of this. Trying to flatten this off. We'll try to help this guy out. Reduce the angle of attack. That ought to do it. Yeah, for some reason, coming into a pinched corner, I've occasionally, this guy's been able to pull the hill, but not every single time. So it must be kind of where he starts, what little pixel it hits, and whether or not he's able to see behind him, I don't know. Or maybe the hired help just doesn't like me. Let's see. Try to line this up again. As close to 0 as I can. That's pretty good. There you go, bud. Now full up, we'll head back out to the harvest field. Once again, we'll come up here because there's no crop. Surely I'm not the only person that cuts corners through a field, just because, but I do try to, I do try for a little realism. If there's a full crop in here, you know, I wouldn't just drive over the top of it. I'll at least wait until it's harvested, even though there's no consequences. I mean, shoot, we could drive out in here all day long, you know, and it isn't going to smash the crop like that. You know, I do seem to recall there was a mod one time, though, that added tire tracks to, well, at least to the base game equipment. I can't remember if... There's a lot of things I just don't remember. Picking up most of it. Just these hills are so steep, it's having a time of it. Alright, let me see if I can sneak these up. There we go. Getting some. All in how you wiggle around it. Yeah, I'm definitely going to be smoothing this field, I think, a little bit. You know, there's details you can see in the cab. The stubble on the ground that you don't see when you're top down, kind of like this. It's got to be the angle. Yeah, you can see it if you get down close. Yeah, it doesn't like the shape of the hill. Yeah, some of this I'm going to have to just leave. Like I say, I do intend, I think, to try and edit on this combine. I'm not going to do it right now. I'm definitely going to do it off cam. See if I can get some improvement. Shape of the hill, you can see exactly where I'm missing. Maybe one of these passes I'll finally quit skipping, but it's probably, yeah, it's elevated just enough. Oh, I took it this time. Very good. For anybody listening to this, question for you. How do you know when you're done playing a map? You know, how do you know when you're done? And there goes the bell. Now that's timing. Well, when I look at this map and I consider harvesting all of this, I'm going to do it at least one more time. You know, I mean, we've done down through here, and so we got a whole bunch. We're not even halfway done. But by the time I get done with this, I am going to have everything I need and more, and I'm going to be seeing my cash go through the roof. In which case, it isn't going to be quite as fun as it once was. So I was just curious, how do you know when you're done with a map? I think when cash balloons, unless there's something really compelling about the particular map, I think that helps inform when I know I'm done with the map. And I think, you know, with this series, when I look at the number of hours in the map, I think I'm 70-some. So, not a huge number of hours, but I'll definitely be over 100 by the time we're all done. Regardless, thank you for coming along and continuing to watch this series. Listen to my dribble. Hope you're enjoying Feldy. I still am. Y'all have a wonderful day. I will see you on the next one.